Thanks for joining us from the Ohio AgNet Voice You Know with the News You Trust studio, sponsored by BASF, where you can count on the trusted performance of Allevo seed treatment to protect your soybean crop. Suicide prevention in rural America includes both an understanding of challenges facing farm and rural residents and available resources to those needing such.
September is National Suicide Prevention Month. Dan Neenan of the National Education Center for Agricultural Safety explains some mental health challenges within the farm sector.
The farmer traditionally is somebody that works by themselves. At least with me, my vent when I'm working is my wife. That might not be there for the farmers. If they're worried about projected cost, the farmer might not be so willing to share that with their spouse because of this is the family. And what happens if we were to lose the family farm, then we lose where the family lives, and what are we going to do with the kids? That kind of isolates the farmer just a little bit more.
As for available avenues for producers and rural residents regarding suicide prevention, Melissa Pluckerman of the National Farm Medicine Center gives this resource.
Call 988. That's a hotline that will talk you through what's going on right now. They can help prevent a suicide in the moment, and then they can follow up by getting you some resources that are in your area, in your state.
I'm Rod Bain reporting for the U.S. Department of Agriculture in Washington, D.C.
Ohio Congressman Dave Taylor introduced the Improving Drought Monitoring Act, aimed at reauthorizing the USDA's improvements to the Drought Monitor program and forming a Drought Monitor Interagency Working Group. That group will recommend ways to enhance the accuracy and consistency of drought data. Taylor emphasized the necessity of accurate information for agricultural planning and response efforts, urging Congress to include the bill in the upcoming Farm Bill. The Agriculture and Justice Departments now have a memorandum of understanding in place to look at issues connected to rising farm input costs and their impacts on producers.
An agreement looking into increasing farm input cost, as announced by Agriculture Secretary Brooke Rollins.
USDA and the Department of Justice signed a memorandum of understanding that aligns a joint commitment by both of our agencies to protect American farmers and ranchers from the burdens imposed by high and volatile input costs such as feed, fertilizer, fuel, seed equipment, and other essential goods, while ensuring competitive supply chains, lowering consumer prices, and the resilience of U.S. agriculture and the food supply.
The secretary at the AgriPulse Ag Outlook Forum in Kansas City said USDA will work with the Justice Department's Antitrust Division
to take a hard look and scrutinize competitive conditions in the agricultural marketplace, including antitrust enforcement that promotes free market competition.
And Secretary Rollins added,
there will be more announcements on that to come, but that work begins today.
I'm Rod Bain reporting for the U.S. Department of Agriculture in Washington, D.C.
The White House Budget Office is instructing federal agencies to prepare reduction in force plans for mass firings during a possible government shutdown, specifically targeting employees who work for programs that are not legally required to continue. The move marks a significant break from how shutdowns have been handled in recent decades, when most furloughs were temporary and employees were brought back once Congress voted to reopen government and funding was restored. And according to the latest quarterly Hogs and Pigs report published by the USDA's National Ag Statistics Service, as of September 1, there were 74.5 million hogs and pigs on U.S. farms. That's down 1% from September 2024, but up 1% from June 1st, 2025. Of the 74.5 million hogs and pigs, 68.5 million were market hogs, 5.93 million were kept for breeding. Iowa accounted for the largest inventory. The markets, they're next.
Soybeans are making waves in aquaculture. As a top protein source for fish farming, soy meal is essential for producing sustainable farm-raised fish. With fish farming as the fastest growing food sector, soybeans meet the demand for eco-friendly, nutritious options. From soybean fields to fish farms, soybeans power the farms that feed families. Brought to you by the Ohio soybean farmers and their checkoff.
Nearly 90% of farmers say that financial worries, constantly changing market conditions, and other uncontrollable variables take a toll on their mental well-being. Add in the weather and family dynamics, well, it's a lot to handle alone. And did you know farmers and their families can receive free confidential services from licensed professionals? Support is available 24/7 to help with the challenges you face. Look for Farm Family Wellness Alliance under the Resources tab at farmfoundation.org. Take care of yourself. Your well-being matters.
The market's brought to you by Seed Consultants. Simply better performance. Online at seedconsultants.com. At the Board of Trade, December corn 421.5, down a half. March corn 438.5, down a quarter cent. November soybeans 1010.5, down 3 1/4. January beans 1029 3/4, down 3 1/4. December wheat 519.5, down a quarter cent. At the Mercantile Exchange, October cattle 231.32, down 47 cents. October hogs 101.15, down 35 cents. November feeder cattle, 353.87, down 60 cents. This is the Ohio AgNet.